Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this edition of the Primetime newscast in the English language on Canal International. We begin with our top stories. The release of the Fon Bambalang, His Royal Highness Yekum Kevin Shumentang II, has called on separatist fighters to accept the price he has paid on behalf of other Fons and give peace a chance by dropping their guns. And the Cameroon joined the rest of the world to observe the 50th edition of the World Environment Day, and as this year's theme, State Solutions to Plastic Pollution Cameroon and some non-governmental organizations decided to sensitize the population on how to treat plastic bags rather than dumping them on the streets and gutters. Those were major stories. So right back. Good evening once more. An appeal has been filed by the tax defense lawyers of the 7 tax officials found guilty of concussion of the owner of the Anecdote Group. This follows last Friday's verdict by the court of first instance in Yaoundé, seen as a major victory for the 1-year-long case on the one hand, but it leaves the other side thirsty as we got this day from both lawyers brazen up for the special session. More on the story with our reporter, Beatrice Ngamu. It's unfortunate we can't have that story. The release of Fon Bambalang, His Royal Majesty Yekum Kevin Shumentang II, has called on separatist fighters to accept the price he has paid on behalf of other Fons and give a peace a chance by dropping their guns. He was speaking in Yaoundé yesterday, Sunday, after being received by Yaoundé-based Nkokitija community. More on the story with our reporter,
According to the General Coordinator of the Rapid Intervention Battalion, the recent death of 5 soldiers, including a lieutenant, through improvised explosive devices along the Bamenda-Bengui Road, did not dampen the morale of the soldiers, as barely few hours after the slated inauguration of the new military base in Bengui went on H-free.
When that situation happened, the morale was a bit low, but I went there, I speak with them, we are doing our job, and it's not an incident like this of IED who will decrease the level of our morale. No, yesterday when I spoke with the soldiers, they were very angry, and this morning they say that they will continue to fight.
Situated at the GRA Mbengui, the Light Intervention Unit has dormitories, offices, dispensary, restaurant with all-weather vehicles and a caterpillar to take care of Batibo, Bengui, Ngie, Njikwa and Widikum in Momo Division and Bali and Pinyin in Mezam Division.
This military base here in Bengui is very important in terms of security, in terms of harmony between the population and our defense forces. So from here, we are sure that the security situation of Bengui and Momo in general will be improved.
From their number, you can see that they are actually happy, meaning that a good number of them have been longing for this peace. They know that with the presence of the bee in Bengui, they are going to enjoy everlasting peace.
Over 1,000 persons trooped into the new center for a guided tour of the new premises.
We need to work hand to hand with the population to achieve results. As you know, the situation is getting better, and we are also here to tell to those who lost their way, those terrorists who lost their way, who are maybe misguided or, I don't know, manipulated, hiding on the bush to make terrorism and criminality, that it's not late. There is a safe way there is a safe process to come back.
At the moment, 6 persons are still uncounted for after being kidnapped at the Ngwokong last May 21.
That was rather a report on the new light military intervention unit base of the Rapid Intervention Battalion, the Army, which has been inaugurated in Bengui Momo Division, Northwest region of Cameroon. Members of the National Executive Committee of the Social Democratic Front Party, the SDF, are intensifying preparations ahead of the upcoming party's national convention in July meeting and an enlarged NEC meeting over the weekend in Yaoundé. It was an occasion to consolidate the ongoing reorganization process and plan towards the success of the elective convention. More on the story with our reporter Heinz Cha.
Days are narrowing down to the long-awaited national convention of the Social Democratic Front. Preparations stepping up at all levels for the success of the historic event. An elective convention not like the others, as the national chairman, Nijon Frunji, had earlier announced that he will not longer be a candidate.
It's a historic convention for our party because it will see a change of leadership arrive, and that is why it's very important to meticulously prepare for this convention, and that's the reason why we're sitting here today.
The National Executive Committee, the NEC, holding on Saturday, June 3rd, at the party's central regional headquarters in Yaoundé, equally focused on the reorganization of the party, reviewing of reports from the field, and seeking solutions to keep the political outfit going, despite the latest irregularities.
Well, it is always a problem to lose members of a party. Let nobody come and tell you the contrary. You build a political party to grow, but from time to time, people resign. From time to time, people put themselves into situations of incompatibility. From time, whatever happens, it's to continue recruiting new blood. It's to continue giving hope to the Cameroonian people. It's to continue working relentlessly to make sure that the party can bring about its agenda for change in Cameroon.
And the National Elective Convention is scheduled to take place in Yaoundé on July 28 and 29, 2023.
And the country continued to mourn the death of Honorable Cyprien Awudumbaya, who died in the United States of America. That was over the weekend. Manu was a flag bearer of the Social Democratic Front Party, the SDF, at the National Assembly for over 21 years, occupying strategic positions. Let's revisit the political career of the statesman in the following reports by our reporter, Heinz Cha.
Born on the 18th of May 1952 in his native Njap village in Kambe, Donga Mountain Division of the Social Democratic Front, the SDF, the business guru stood tall at the National Assembly and occupied the prestigious positions of the Secretary General and Questor, not forgetting the strategic post of the chairman of the Pan-African Network for Climate Change. Awudumbaya is remembered for his relentless efforts in the fight for the respect of the two official languages and his calls for the address of the Anglophone issues in Cameroon. The SDF militant for 32 years created an unforgettable impact within the ranks of the party.
It's a pity, he has left quite a legacy which will be complicated for the party to uphold and for his family to uphold, because he was a mighty politician.
The former MP for Donga Mountain refused to run for the 2020 parliamentary elections because of the persistence of the Anglophone crisis, and in a press declaration he stated, "I will not march on blood to get back to parliament." The traditional title holder, Ta Mfomi, gave up the ghost on June 2nd in Dallas, Texas, United States of America, after a protracted illness.
The release of phone of Bambalang, His Royal Majesty Yankum Kevin Shumentang II, has called on separatist fighters to accept the price he has paid on behalf of other phones and give peace a chance by dropping their guns. He was speaking in Yaoundé yesterday, Sunday, after being received by Yaoundé-based Gokutunja community. More on the story with our reporter, Heinz Cha.
This is how the population of Bambalang and Gok-Kitunja as a whole triumphantly welcomed Jafon in Yaoundé following his miraculous release after spending 18 months under separatist captivity. They can only thank God Almighty for preserving the life of the traditional custodian.
I want to thank God Almighty for bringing our phone back to regain life, because for the past 18 months we have been suffering, praying for God to see how our phone can be released. There are many times we have moved from Yaoundé to Bamenda and from the village, trying to see how the phone can be released.
We are also saying thank you to the boys. We're begging them to come out of the bush. Or we, their parents, were begging them to stop all that rubbish.
His Royal Highness Yakum Kevin Shumetang II, who doubles as the president of the Northwest House of Chiefs, was accompanied by the Northwest Regional Governor out since December 2021. And with his very bitter experience, the phone laments that his predicaments should be a turning point for a return to normalcy.
I believe I have paid the price for all Northwest funds. And on that note, I strongly believe securing my release would be a turning point for us to regain peace and normality.
Also present at the welcome ceremony on Sunday, June 4th, were a host of Northwest funds who equally used the opportunity to call on the boys to give peace a chance.
And Cameroon joins the rest of the world today, May 5, to commemorate the 50th edition of World Environment Day. And as this year's theme, State Solutions to Plastic Pollution, Cameroon and some non-governmental organizations have decided to have impact on a sensitization mission on the population, so they know how to treat plastic bags rather than dumping them on streets and gutters. More on the story, read our reporter Saleh Sharifa.
Solutions to plastic pollution is the theme of this year's World Environment Day. On that occasion, different non-governmental organizations are creating awareness on how to protect the environment from plastic pollution. They are involved in cleaning gutters in Douala.
In this place, we have Mamanda. You go there, all over water coming in houses with excretors all over. So it brings around illnesses like diarrhea, cholera, and the like. So we have to make sure let's evacuate all these plastics in the environment, so make sure that our environment stays safe. So those plastics have a temperature which by when it reaches that temperature, it will remove those chemical products on them. So those chemical products on them, will consume them. At the long run, we expect what we call cancer of the blood, cancer of the system.
Still in line with the World Environment Day, Grow Africa, GrowAF, as an organization that focuses on protecting their environment, marked the day by sharing out additional information to the population through these flyers on the dangers of plastic pollution. They say this action is being carried out in Yaoundé and Bamenda.
They don't decompose like normal organic waste. They instead break down into smaller particles called microplastics. And now when they enter the oceans, they kill a lot of fishes. That's why today, if we don't protect our oceans, by 2050 we will not have fishes in the sea.
In Cameroon, more than 600,000 tons of plastic waste are produced and dumped in nature. This will take at least 100 years to break down into small particles, releasing toxic chemicals into the environment. These chemicals can contaminate soil and water sources, posing a significant threat to human health and wildlife.
And there is an urgent need to empower young women and adolescent girls so they quickly identify talents and skills that will make them work on the entrepreneurial path. This is a mission of growth with mission to impact students with entrepreneurial skills. More in the following story. To effect real change in society, there is an urgent need to nurture entrepreneurship in girls when they are still in BD at the elementary stage or at the level of universities. Gender-focused associations like Griots maintain that young girls must not only be taught financial prowess and other skills they will need to succeed, but young girls should be able to see themselves as entrepreneurs and leaders. This is possible through entrepreneurial interactions with female role models.
When you see young girls today, they are like, okay, on Facebook, Twitter, they don't want to do anything, so they are like their life. It is very important today to tell them a wife or a girl have to be independent financially. So the base is here. We have many leaders who come here in the University of Douala to give them tips to be do entrepreneurship tomorrow.
Nous avons commencé quelques années plus tôt.
The entrepreneurial interactions initiated by the CEO of Griot, backed by the Faculty of Letters at the University of Douala and the Regional Delegation of Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises, brought together close to 1,000 students, both male and female, of the University of Douala. With resource persons and female leaders that inspire, thematic centered around what entrepreneurship is all about, digitalization, how to create a company, how to identify skills, and a lot more. Some months back, the organizers launched a competition, a project to award best projects of young girls in entrepreneurship. And that report brings us to the end of this edition of the Primetime Newscast in the English language on Canal International. Thanks so much for watching. But coming up next is the brief with Mathieu Fangua. For me, I'll be back same time tomorrow. Good night.